The relationship between the European Union and the Republic of the Philippines is a long-standing one which has broadened and deepened remarkably in recent years.
And today we're going to discuss the relation and international tie between European Union and the Philippines. So sit back and relax, for we are off for an adventure. This is the IR Talks.
Audio Jungle. Audio Jungle. Audio Jungle.
Europe's dialogue with ASEAN began in the late 1970s and was formalized in 1980 with the signature of a cooperation agreement for the Association of Southeast Asian Nations.
And for many years, this agreement was the primary framework of EU relations with the Philippines. But before that, let us define what European Union is. Michelle?
Thank you, Anniekine. The European Union is a political and economic union of 28 member states located primarily in Europe. The EU has developed an internal single market through a standardized system of laws that apply in all member states in those matters, and only those matters where members have agreed to act as one. EU policies aim to ensure the free movement of people, goods, services, and capital within the internal market, enact legislation in justice and home affairs, and maintain common policies on trade, agriculture, fisheries, and regional development. The different member states are Austria, Belgium, Bulgaria, Croatia, Republic of Cyprus, Czech Republic, Denmark, Estonia, Finland, France, Germany, Greece, Hungary, Ireland, Italy, Latvia, Lithuania, Luxembourg, Malta, Netherlands, Poland, Portugal, Romania, Slovakia, Slovenia, Spain, Sweden, and the UK. Therefore, a partnership with the European Union is a partnership with the said European state. In addition with that, the European Union and the Philippines share the diplomatic, economic, political relations with each other. Right, Christine?
That's right, Michelle. The European Union has provided millions of euros to the Philippines to fight poverty and counter terrorism against terrorist groups in the southern Philippines. Also, the European Union is also the third largest trading partner of the Philippines, thus strong bilateral ties.
And speaking of bilateral relations, this gives the relationship between the European Union states and the Philippines a strong partnership in different aspects. Now, let's go to Carlo to find out more about the bilateral relations of the European Union and the Republic of the Philippines. Carlo?
Thank you, Michelle. Bilateralism is a conduct of political, social, and cultural relations between states or organizations. It is simply the contrast between multilateralism, which is a joint activity between three or more than three states.
The European Union and the Philippines are coming up with a more comprehensive bilateral agreement that will further strengthen the dialogue, cooperation, and action in their partnership, specifically the issue of migration.
As of now, there are 900,000 Filipinos in Europe, and it is all possible because of strong ties between the EU and the Philippines. Now, let's talk about the several agreements that is being made between the EU and the Philippines. JOEVI, ELYZZA.
Thank you, Carlo. Relations between European Union and Philippines have formed several agreements that are now helping the country in different spheres. Some of those signed agreements cover legal migration, education, training, trading, and maritime labor.
The agreement also provides dialogues and cooperation on political matters, including the peace process on trade and investments such as custom facilitation and intellectual property, right and justice, and security.
After many years of negotiation under President Noynoy Aquino, the 383 million pesos aid deal to the Philippines from the EU was formally approved in 2018. However, it was rejected and blocked by President Rodrigo Duterte, the new incumbent at the time, citing personal hatred towards the EU.
The EU has criticized Duterte for his deadly drug war which has killed more than 14,000 Filipino drug suspects. in less than 18 months and the imprisonment of opposition Senator Leila de Lima due to testimonies from rapists, murderers, and drug traffickers, which de Lima sent to jail when she was Justice Secretary.
Also, last year, the Partnership and Cooperation Agreement was ratified and came into force.
According to the Department of Foreign Affairs, the PCA will serve as a general framework of relations between the Philippines and the EU on many areas of interest such as political matters, justice and security, trade and investment, migration and development, and other economic, development, and sectoral issues. It will also allow the Philippines and the EU to cooperate on these issues in a more systematic and sustainable way.
Now, after discussing the several agreements between the EU and the Philippines, let's now talk about the economic and trading relation between the two parties. JHERWIN.
Since 25 of December 2014, the Philippines has enjoyed enhanced trade preferences with the EU under the EU's Generalized Scheme of Preferences. Generalized Scheme of Preferences or GSP allows vulnerable developing countries to pay fewer or no duties on exports to the EU, giving them vital access to the EU market and contributing to their growth. With bilateral trade in goods amounting to 14.2 billion euro in 2017, the EU ranked as the Philippines' fourth largest trading partner, while the Philippines was EU's sixth largest trading partner in the Association of Southeast Asian Nations.
Top products traded between EU and the Philippines are dominated by machinery, transport equipment, chemicals, food products, and electronic components.
Also, the Philippines' export to the European Union include coconut oil, electronic microassemblies, electrical and electronic machinery, equipment, semiconductor devices, storage units, static converters, other brakes and servo brakes and parts, and digital monolithic integrated circuits. Office and telecommunication equipment and machinery are the strongest export product of the Philippines to the EU, but growth in other sectors can be noted thanks to the GSP preferences.
Back in 2011, the investment flow from EU to Philippines was 9 billion euro with an investment stock of 5 billion euro, while the investment flow from Philippines to EU was 7.9 billion euro and 430 billion euro for the investment stocks.
And now let's discuss the human rights and humanitarian partnership between the European Union and Philippines.
Under the Program of European Civil Protection and Humanitarian Aid Operation, the European Union provided a financial support of more than 4 million euros to the Philippines.
Of this amount, more than 3 million euro provided humanitarian assistance to the people affected by both the conflict in the Mindanao and by the natural disasters. On the other hand, the remaining 1 million euro was assigned to the disaster risk reduction projects.
These funds support the provision of food, water supply and sanitation facilities, health services, emergency livelihood support, and protection to vulnerable individuals. As an immediate response to the recent monsoon floods triggered by Tropical Depression Usman, the European Union allocated 130,000 euro to deliver life-saving relief to the most affected families in some of the worst hit provinces of Albay and Camarines Sur in Bicol region.
Earlier, the EU mobilized an emergency aid package of 2 million euros to bring support to the victims of Typhoon Mangkhut or Ompong to address the most urgent needs of communities such as shelters, equipment, water, sanitation, hygiene intervention, and food assistance. Following August widespread flooding and landslide triggered by incessant monsoon rains in the archipelago nation, the European Union provided 150,000 euro to support the Philippine Red Cross in providing humanitarian assistance to impacted families. Furthermore, 570,000 euro was allocated to deliver emergency relief assistance when Typhoon Tembin or Vinta struck the southern Philippines back in 2017. In addition to that is a generous financial support of totaling more than 180 million euros.
Now, let's proceed to the human rights assistance between EU and the Philippines.
The EU-Philippines Partnership and Cooperation Agreement signed in 2012 calls for the establishment of the meaningful human rights dialogue in the form of a working group on human rights such as the EU Human Rights Country Strategy.
The EU Human Rights Country Strategy for the Philippines focuses on four following concerns areas. First, support to human rights defenders or HRDs. The support is taken forward through continued assistance to civil society organizations or HRDs through grants under the European Instrument for Democracy and Human Rights or EIDHR, through individual programs of EU in countries, and through improved human rights dialogue with HRDs. Second, the support to justice sector reform and support for efforts to combat impunity in the areas of extrajudicial killings and enforced disappearances. The support includes an EU justice sector reform project funded under the Development Cooperation Instrument or DCI, support to the National Monitoring Mechanism for Extrajudicial Killings or EGKs, EU country support projects and HR dialogue with civil societies as well as the monitoring and follow-up of EGKs cases. The third one is the support to improve economic, social, and cultural rights. The support mainly includes continued European Union development assistance focusing on poverty alleviation and human and social development. The fourth and last area of concern is the support for children affected by armed conflict or CAAC. This is done through the EU support of the peace process in Mindanao, including the support of the International Monitoring Team or IMT, support for NGOs calling for protective legislation, and through supporting respect for international laws and standards.
In 2014, the EU continues to engage with its partner, including the National and Regional Commissions on Human Rights or the CHR, state actors such as Department of Justice, Department of Interior and local governments, human rights defenders, and civil society. Under the European Instrument for Democracy and Human Rights, or the EIDHR, in November 2014, the EU made available €1.8 million to pay for projects, which will focus on the protection of human rights, defender and groups threatened by extrajudicial killings, tortures, or other the worst form of human rights violations, the protection of the rights of children affected by armed conflict, and the promotion of the people's rights in the Bangsamoro territory.
In relation to that, European military have soared since the Philippine drug war led by President Rodrigo Duterte, which was mentioned earlier. In response, President Duterte lashed out at EU politicians, singling out those from Britain and France, calling them hypocrites and accusing them of being responsible for the deaths of thousands caused by their ancestors during the colonial period.
Ngayon, they've been using it. Ngayon, hanggang ngayon, doon sa EU, that is known to issue warnings of killing criminals. Sabi ko, fuck you. Why are you threatening me, including itong rapporteur ng Amerika? Why are you complaining so much about me threatening the criminals of the drug syndicates? If you consider the fact that we have now 3,700,000 drug addicts, by that number alone, it would tell you it's a very serious crime.
On January 24, 2018, 380 million pesos or 6.1 million euro in aid spearheaded by the administration of former President Noynoy Aquino through a deal was officially rejected and blocked by President Rodrigo Duterte due to the belief that our country doesn't need any help. But on the same month, Duterte welcomed aid from China in exchange allowed Chinese vessels to enter the Philippine rights.
Now, let's talk about the development cooperation. Over the past 4 decades, the EU has been a major part of the Philippines and has contributed more than €1 billion to combating poverty and raising standards of living for the poor.
EU development assistance is closely aligned with the Philippines Development Plan 2017 to 2022.
it aims to achieve concrete results and to maximize the impact of the EU funding provided to the benefit of Filipinos across the country. The 7-year EU support strategy for the period of 2014 to 2020 more than doubles EU grant assistance to the Philippines compared with the 2017 to 2013 period, from 130 million euro to 325 million euro.
Most of the EU funds are given as grants, making the EU jointly with EU countries the largest grant donor in the Philippines. The new strategy, which is described in the Multi-Annual Indicative Program 2014 to 2020, is focusing on
The rule of law. The EU and the Philippines both share a vision of improved governance and therefore want to increase cooperation in the justice sector to support the Philippine justice sector reform strategy. Inclusive growth. Through sustainable energy and job creation, the EU is keen to help the Philippines government to achieve its ambitious electrification targets for poor areas. The promotion of renewable energy used in the Philippines is crucial to jointly address the global challenge of climate change.
The bilateral EU-Philippines program is complemented by additional money, often channeled through civil society organizations, to address social issues, the environment, indigenous people, human rights, peace building, and migration.
Some of the social issues that have brought the attention of the European Union towards Philippines were the 1 peso budget of the Commission on Human Rights, the killing of indigenous people or LUMADs, and many more.
For the last part, after discussing of the political, economic, and developmental relations between the EU and the Philippines, we would like now to add the agreement between EU and the Philippines about the commercial aviation agreement.
The Philippines were among the countries with air carriers banned in the European Union. On 2006, the European Union released a list of air carriers that are banned to enter the airspace of any EU member state due to failure to meet the regulatory oversight standards of the EU. However, in 2013, the European Union lifted a 3-year ban on Philippine Airlines flying into its airspace after the national carrier addressed safety concerns. The European Commission and the Air Safety Committee are encouraged by the actions being taken by the Civil Aviation Authority of the Philippines and Philippine air carriers to address outstanding safety issues. In April 2014, the European Union lifted its ban on Cebu Pacific, making it the second airline in the Philippines with granted rights to fly within the European Union airspace. The following year, in June 2015, the European Union announced that the ban of all Philippine-based airlines was lifted, removing the country from the list.
The diplomatic relations between the European Union and the Philippines stretches back from the longest time we can imagine. Hence, a strong and peaceful tie between the two parties.
And with the political climate here in the Philippines, it is a fact that the international relations, diplomacy, and policy-making discourse are just few of the cards that our country must play carefully.
And that concludes our video presentation. We all hope that you've learned something from the information that we have shared with you.
Goodbye and Godspeed!